Hi everyone, welcome to my Let's Make It Monday video. It is late in the evening, but I will get it out before the midnight tonight, so you'll get to see it Monday. Today is Monday the 20th of July 2026, and I am Jeanette Clark, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland. I'm going to do a Christmas card with you today and share a couple of little hints, but I'll show you the finished card first. It is using the product of the month last month, which was what are we in June, which was the Wild Bunch, and I like this one because the koala. Now I've made this Christmas card, and for those out there that need to post early overseas, I'm using the koala to my brother who's in America. So we're using that one. I hope you managed to pick it up in June. And this is the card we're going to make with a little bit of a technique to show you. So koala, we've got 3 koalas there, and a bit of embossing as well, which I'll show you. So we start with the card base, which is basic white. And I've got my another piece on top, which is 10 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres, which fits just in there. I'm going to be working on this one. And we're going to stamp our koala. I'll just leave that there because you can see 3. And one there's sort of sitting behind this one, and that one sitting behind that one. And that's the masking technique. So we use our masking paper. You can buy this in a pack of 12 sheets this size, and it's $15.75 at the moment. So I've just taken a piece of that, and I have stamped my koala. Is that my koala? And I've stamped it on one of the small pieces of paper that I've got here, and it's got obviously self-adhesive on the back as masking paper, but it's not super adhesive. So I've used this one before many times. You can see he's a little bit stamped over a few times, but he's sticky on the top. I haven't taken the backing off there so that I could hold him, but he's now getting torn. So we're going to do another one, and I stamped the koala on the paper. I've cut it out so that you didn't have to waste time and see me fussy cutting, as that word is, with my scissors. And I am just going to peel off the back. See if I can get the backing off easy enough. And probably doesn't want to come easy. So if you find that you can't get it with your fingers, take your pick tool, is the magic one, and you just poke it with that, and you'll see it'll come up. So you can see it just starting to come up in that corner. So I am going to peel down. In this case, I'll probably peel it all off, and it's sticky on the back. But before I use that, just going to keep him there for a minute, and I'm going to stamp him down. And I used Smoky Slate to do my koala, and you could colour him in if you want, but for the purpose of today I haven't got time to be colouring in, so I'm just going to ink up my little koala, and I'm going to stamp him a little bit down this time and in the middle. And then we have one koala. Then we get our little bit of masking koala. We're going to put him over the top, so he covers up that koala, and we're going to stamp again over here and stamp again on this side. Make sure he doesn't go off the edge. So then I've got 3 koalas. Now I don't need the Smoky Slate again. And you're going to pick up your masking paper. It's not going to stick to your card because it's not that sticky. And there we have our masking technique. Super cool, hey? You can do that with any stamp, as long as you cut out the first one, and you could do it all over the whole page and make it look like they're all standing behind each other in a big mob. So there we have our koalas, but this one has like a Christmas hat on, And I'm going to do the hat opposite this time. So I'm going to do red at the bottom, and I'm going to use the red, and to do that I'm just going to ink up the bottom part of the hat in red, and I'm going to stamp it down. It's going to go across his ear this time, I think. Sort of not quite on his head, so let's try again the next one. We'll fix it up in a minute. That's better on his head, and then again on this one on his head. The furry top bit on a Christmas hat, we better clean this first, is going to be white, but I don't really want to use white ink on it. So I'm going to use, what colour did I use? I think I used Cloud Cover because it's quite light. I'm going to use Cloud Cover, and I'm going to stamp the top part, just the top part of the stamp. Just going to make sure that's not too dark. I stamped it off first. Now I'm going to stamp it on the top of my hat, and you can just see it, but wait one moment. Same, stamp it off on a piece first, then stamp it at the top of your hat. Stamp again, and on the top of my hat. So you can just see the outline of the hat, of the furry top. And now I'm going to get my white gel pen, and I'm going to colour in. If you look really close on this one, maybe you can see that I've coloured in the bottom of the hat. So you can see there with the white gel pen, but this time I'm going to colour in the top. You're not going to see a great deal until it dries. I can see it on there. And if you look really close, you can just see it. But by tomorrow, when this card's, finished and just a bit more, here's the white top. There we have. Now I'm going to do the greeting. So I shall put my taking pick away, and I'm going to do the greeting in real red. May your Christmas, may all your days be merry and bright. Underneath, I think I'll just clean that off straight away because being red, and I like to take my chamois to the stamp because then I can get right in and get all that ink off. So now we have our stamping done, and we need to do the embossing. So to do that, I need to bring my embossing machine over to show you. So one moment, please. We'll grab, I have to use the large embossing machine. Let's push us out. You'll probably see everything that's happening over here, but that's okay. So I've got my large cut and emboss machine, and I've got the large Swirls of Magic die. So you can't use your mini with this. It's very large, takes up the whole plate. Right. But mine, if you look close at the finished card, it is debossed. Debossed at the top, debossed at the bottom. And you could emboss it like you normally do, but I wanted to change it up a bit. So if you wanted to emboss it raised up, you have the Stampin' Up showing up. And I would put it in that way with the Stampin' Up showing up. But I want to deboss it, so I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to have the other side. I'm going to feed it into my folder just so that it covers the top of my card like that, and I'm going to feed it through. I need a top one. What did I use for this? I think I used the grey. You have to play around with your embossing folders because they're all different thicknesses. So I'm just going to line that up down the bottom, and I'm going to crank it through. It's a bit tight, this one, but it's the right sandwich. I'm just going to stop towards the end and take it back because I don't want it to flick off the end like it will in a minute, like that. So now we're going to do the same on the bottom. So there's the top. Now I'm going to put it in at the bottom. The same so that you can see just under the words. Bring it back onto the plate. And there goes our top plate on top. And then we're going to crank it through. It's a bit crooked. I think I better straighten it up. We can't have that. See, you have to be very careful. Just move it back in. You're able to still do that while the plates are on. Just to the end and take it back again. Whoa, lucky I've had dinner already. So there we have the embossing at the bottom. So you can always, excuse me while I just take this away again for you to see the workspace. And we shall just take it down again. So you can see you can emboss only part. There's the embossing side. If you like that, put it in the other way, like I mentioned, the black Stampin' Up on top. But I wanted to do the deboss tonight. So there is the two, and you can only just see the white on the hat. If you wanted to add something else on yours to make the white turn out better, but I think we need to colour those hats as well. That's what my other step is to do. So we're going to use the ink from the ink pad, and we're going to push it together so that the ink goes onto the lid. And you only need a little bit of ink, and I'm going to use my aqua painter. Pick up a little bit of ink, just make sure there's water coming through. Here it comes. Pick up a little bit of ink, and I'm going to colour in his hat. It's not really wet. There we go. Colour in one hat. Colour in this other hat so that it goes all the way down to his head. Colour in this hat. You don't want to cover up that the white top. So there is the Santa koalas, and there's the one with the red top on top. So, you could do either or. And then you do need to wait for that to dry. You can use your heat gun to dry it, but I'm going to just leave it like that. I'll adhere it later after the video. And basically that's our Christmas card going overseas to America. So I hope you like that technique. Use our masking paper and have fun stamping all over and looking like I don't know, what do you call them? A group of koalas. If you know that, pop that in the comments to me when you know it and remind me. I don't think it's a mob of koalas. It's something. I don't know. So there's our Make It Monday today. I will post this up on my blog soon, and you can see it on stampindayswithjeanette.blogspot.com. And don't forget my Facebook page here and my website, jeanetteclark.stampinup.net. And don't forget the product of the month this month. So until next week, I hope you enjoyed this Make It Monday, and happy stamping, everyone. Bye for now.